So you've got this incredible idea. You know it could be a game changer. But how do you actually take that spark and forge it into a real legal company here in India? Well, let's get into it and break down the absolute first steps pulling directly from the Companies Act of 2013.
Right. This is the big question, isn't it? It's the moment you have to cross the bridge from just having a dream to building a real entity, something that can actually hire people, make sales, and grow. So where on earth do you start? Luckily for us, the law gives a very, very clear starting point.
All right, part one, the spark. It all kicks off with one fundamental rule, a rule you absolutely cannot negotiate.
And that's pretty much it. Section 3 of the Act is super clear on this. Your company can do just about anything, from building rocket ships to baking the world's best cookies, but it must have a lawful purpose. You just can't form a company to do something illegal. That's the very first gate every single founder has to walk through.
Okay, Section 2, let's talk about your team. Your idea is legal, great. Now who's in this with you? How many people are on the starting line? Because believe me, this decision shapes pretty much everything that comes next.
What if it's just you? You're the solo founder, the one with the vision, ready to take it all on yourself. Well, the law has a special category just for you. It's called a one-person company, or an OPC. You just need yourself to get the ball rolling.
But maybe you're not going it alone. Maybe you've got a co-founder, a partner to share the load and the wins. For a private company, which is what most startups are, you're going to need at least 2 people.
And what if your vision is even bigger? Maybe you're already dreaming of going public, selling shares to anyone and everyone. Well, for that, you need a bigger crew from the get-go. To form a public company, you need a minimum of 7 people to start.
All right, Section 3, a quick tour of the company types. So, based on your team size, you're generally heading down one of 2 main roads, private or public. Let's put them side by side and see what that looks like.
See, this is really your first big fork in the road. For the vast majority of startups, small businesses, family businesses, the private company with at least 2 members is the go-to choice. It just fits. But if you are planning on building a massive corporation right out of the gate, you need to start as a public company with at least 7 members.
Now, for Section 4, these specialty companies. Okay, but what if you don't fit neatly into those 2 boxes? Well, the law is flexible. It actually offers a few custom models for more unique situations. Remember, we mentioned this, the OPC. This is a total game changer for solo entrepreneurs. Legally, it's a type of private company, but it's built from the ground up for just one person. It lets you have all the protections of a corporate structure without needing to bring on a partner.
Now listen up, because this is a status you definitely want if you can get it. If your private company's capital and turnover stay below a certain limit, you can be classified as a small company. And why should you care? The reward is huge. A much lighter load of legal paperwork and compliance. That's a massive win when you're just starting out.
But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. Not just any company can get this status. You're automatically out if you're a public company, a holding company, or a subsidiary, a nonprofit, or a company governed by some other special law. This benefit is really designed for the little guys, the truly independent businesses.
So what if your main goal isn't making money, but making a difference? That's where a Section 8 company comes into play. Think of these as the nonprofits. The rules here are very strict. Any money you earn has to be reinvested into your mission, whether it's art, science, or charity. And you absolutely cannot pay out dividends to your members.
And finally, what if you've got the company registered, but you're not quite ready to launch? Maybe you just wanted to lock down a great name for a future idea, or you need the company to hold a patent. You can apply for dormant company status. It basically hits the pause button on the business, which reduces your legal duties until you're ready to go live.
Okay, on to our final section, number 5. And this one is a critical warning. Before we wrap up, there is one rule about personal liability that every single founder needs to burn into their brain. This is about where the company's protection ends and your personal risk begins. This quote is pulled straight from the law, Section 3A. Look, one of the best reasons to form a company is limited liability. It means you personally are not on the hook for the business's debts. But this part of the law is the giant exception. It says if your number of members drops below the legal minimum and you keep doing business for over 6 months, that protection can literally vanish.
So how does this nightmare scenario happen? It's a 2-step trap. First, your member count drops too low. Let's say your co-founder leaves your two-person private company. Second, you just keep going. You don't find a new partner, and you operate for more than 6 months. If that happens, anyone who knew about it is now personally on the hook for the company's debts from that point on. It's a really, really important rule to remember.
So there you have it. You know the most basic rule of the game, how to think about your team size, and the different types of companies you can form. You even know the biggest warning to watch out for. The basic framework is now in your hands. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?